Maybe that's my signal. Maybe that's my signal. To know you're ready, yeah. Spooky. What? The spooky voice?
Voices.
Oh, no, that'll be the day. Okay, it is 6:30. We shall begin. This is the city of Fairway, Kansas. Our city council meeting for Monday, January 12th, 2025, 6:30 p.m. I'd like to call this meeting to order and say Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
It's going to be a great year.
Yay.
I just know it. I have no announcements, neither does Nathan. Okay, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag, the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The monthly reports of the standing committees. Consolidated Fire District Number 2, no report this evening. Administration and Finance. Nathan, admin.
Thank you, Mayor. The administration committee did meet on December 1st. However, there were no administrative topics discussed. And you can see sort of the closeout there on dog tags for 2025 compared to years prior. There's a couple of different stats in there for your purview. And then the last thing I'll point out on the admin list, on the admin report, is the holiday gift list per the city's donations policy, as well as our ethics policy. Any gifts that we receive in, we have to report to the governing body. Whether these are anything that could be money or it could be such as these, just token appreciation gifts from either vendors or from residents of Fairway.
Any questions for Nathan? All right, Finance, before I turn it over to Nathan, I would like to say to all of staff, particularly the department heads, and if you'll pass it along to Bill when he returns, job well done for 2025. This was my first, this was my first review of the preliminary financials for 2025, and I couldn't be more pleased. Revenue was 12% in total above budget, and expenses were 7% below. So managed very well. Now, this, of course, is subject to audit, but we do a good job, so I don't expect any major changes. Anyway, thank you to all of you. That is wonderful.
And of course, just the caveat to that is we
Don't ruin it.
Our audit will show the accrual basis side of things.
Right.
So some of the revenues, they anticipate revenues for the first part of 2026. So these numbers will change. But overall, Mayor is correct. We did end the year very solid. All of the transfers that we discussed at the Administration and Finance Committee meeting on the 1st did occur prior to the end of the year. In addition to that, there were two other small transfers. One was about $5,000 from the general fund to the Shawnee Indian Mission Fund, just because that we always just try to finish that fund as near to zero as possible. So I had to transfer some money in to, again, to cover the accruals and some anticipated payroll for the first quarter of 2026. And then the other one was I transferred $8,500 out of the 2014 sales tax fund and into the CIP fund. And the reason for that is we still have some work that's being done in 2026 for the pool pavilion project. And since we couldn't pay for it out of the 2025 budget, I transferred the money into the CIP fund, which was unbudgeted, so I can cut the check from there at any point. And that also then doesn't mess with the cash flow for 2026 for the 2014 sales tax fund. So part of the funds that Bryce still has to pay for the pool pavilion will come from CIP, where I just transfer that money. And is it all coming from CIP?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
So
was your last, what'd you ask him?
the balance beyond the 8,500, because we knew we were going to be a little bit over budget.
You turned away from the
Yeah,
mic.
sorry, I was
That's
making
okay.
sure I was right. So with that, so you can see sales tax, actually for December came in strong as well. So we ended the year very well. And you can see all of that again in the preliminaries for sales tax revenues, but all of our line items for sales tax came in well above what we had budgeted for 2025. So, and again, I'll echo the mayor's comments to the staff. Kudos for running the tight ship that we do here.
It's
Happy to
much-
answer any questions.
Much appreciated. Any questions for Nathan on finance? Nope, okay. Police, chief?
Thank you. So I have a few things. First of all, I did make a typo in the report. Some of you guys caught that. Thank you so much. That was a test. I cannot see the future into 2026, but apparently I noted that I could. So under the overview, it should be 2024, 2025. If you reviewed that. We onboarded Officer Castaneda. He came from Merriam, city of Merriam. He's got a bunch of years of experience. He was a ranking officer. He held a rank at that department and joined our department at the end of December. So we're really excited to have him.
We are fully staffed now.
Yes, to
Yes.
include the
Pardon?
that is the new position.
Yes.
Yep. Two other things I want to note, well, three, I guess. One of them is, we had a lot of DUIs, not a lot, but we had a number of DUIs last month. One of which, we got at 7:45 in the morning. You may have seen actually that video because there was some elf running around last month and it was part of a step campaign. But that video of that individual that was driving the wrong way on Shawnee Mission Parkway was part of that deterrent that we put out in reference to DUI awareness with the Special Traffic Enforcement Program.
At 7:45 in the morning?
Yeah, and that gentleman was functioning and he blew over a .329.
What day of the week was that?
I think it was a Saturday morning, Sunday morning, something like that. I don't know
Oh,
for
that's
sure.
good. Thank God. Yeah.
The other thing I want to note is,
I
Nathan,
read
do you
it,
have that
but I
photo?
didn't pay attention to the day. Anything else, chief?
Yeah, we're gonna try and pull up a photo.
Oh, okay.
We chased a car. We actually, and tried to initiate a car stop on it. We didn't really chase it. It fled from us, fled into Missouri, and then crashed. The driver was a 19-year-old. It's okay if you don't have it.
Keep talking.
And then the driver was a 19-year-old. In the vehicle were drugs, and then also a AR-15 pistol with a 30-round magazine loaded with armor-piercing rounds, and also a drum magazine, a 60-round drum magazine. Now, because of the impact, we think that he wasn't able to get to it and grab that. I did have a photo of it. I'm sure that's what Nathan's trying to get. It's okay if he doesn't pull it up, but again, we're dealing with guns
Yeah.
and drugs, and this is unfortunately moving up and down the street, but your police department is engaging those bad guys and trying to keep them out of this area and put them in jail. We will not stop doing that. So that is it, kind of. I'm still, and then,
Oh,
I had a photo of it and it's,
it's frightening.
there it is right there, along with some mushrooms and some weed. So that, the magazine that's in it is that 60-round drum magazine with green tip ammunition. It's a 223. It's kind of like the guns that we have in our vehicles, the rifles we have in our cars. Again, 19 years old, front seat, fleeing our officers. So I think that pretty much speaks for itself. I just wanted to show the council that.
Dangerous.
I'll stand for any questions.
Any questions for the chief? Oh, Lee?
Yeah, sure. Hey, Chief, I had a couple of constituent questions about the Fairway Guardian program that was in the newsletter.
Mhm.
Can you maybe just elaborate a little bit on that and what it's all about?
Sure. We're in the process of starting that program up and really getting a lot of momentum. We have partners throughout Johnson County that have partnered with us, Johnson County Mental Health, MedAct, Fire Department soon to join us. This program is focused on Fairway's kind of most vulnerable residents, you know, our elderly, our veterans, our people that just need help or contact or want to talk or whatever the reason. It's an outreach program. We've had some really good success stories with that. Initially when we started, we are basically going into the neighborhoods, and I think most of you are familiar with the way that we do house watches. I'll kind of compare it to that. So if you signed up for a house watch, we would come by and check on your house. Well, Officer Funkhauser had an idea based off of us doing that and some tragic calls that we had involving some of our residents that took their own lives. And he felt like if we're checking on property, we certainly should be checking on people. And I think that speaks for itself. And I think that program is outstanding to where that we'll put a black and white police car in front of someone's house whenever they want us to. It's up to them and it's up to the family to reach out if it's an elderly person and, you know, whoever those caregivers are or whatever, and we'll go by and check on them. And we can direct them to anything that they would need within the county or any type of need that they'd have questions on. So it's not a substitute for, you know, 911 or emergency calls, but it's really doing what our department does. And obviously we do criminal interdiction. You all know that, but we also community police. And I think that that is phenomenal. I think it also brings the neighborhood out. When you guys see black and white police cars in front of your neighbor's house, you become curious. And the reason why we're there in that case would be, well, we're just checking on your neighbor. When was the last time you did? I think it'll pull everyone together a little bit more. I love the program, and I really foresee this expanding way past Fairway boundaries. We're not going to own this program, but we are developing it enough to where that I could hand this to Johnson County, or I could hand this to a Prairie Village, or I could hand this to a Kansas City, Missouri, and say, here's this program. Here's all of the things that we did. Here's a web-based platform. Here's an app. Here's the paperwork. Here's the waivers. If you want to use it, great. But it's a matter of reaching out and community policing. I think it's great. And I can't believe someone else hadn't come up with that. All right.
Any?
Yeah, like an anonymous call where someone would need help. We would actually handle that like a normal police call. But if you want to encourage your neighbor to sign up for the program, you know, we'd be happy to talk to them. And if you did have some concerns, we would do what's called a check the welfare on your neighbor and go and talk and make sure they're okay, and go from there. And it's not just about like, again, that police aspect. It may be like a codes aspect where, hey, they need some help because they don't know who to call to paint their house, or things are deteriorating like steps or something like that. And we can direct them to people that can help them.
Yeah, Kelly?
Kelly Busick, Ward 1. Hi, Chief.
Hi.
Happy New Year. I'm very curious because a few months from now, we're going to have the World Cup here.
Uh-huh.
And is the Kansas side and the Missouri side law enforcement, are they having meetings to coordinate? What's,
Coming out of their ears.
I'm sure, but I'm just, since we'll have many different countries here with soccer teams and foreign national fans. So is there any thoughts on what you're preparing to do or not preparing to do when that happens?
Yes,
Thank you.
we've been in continuous meetings. Last week, we were in meetings. I'm in meetings constantly at the chief's level for Johnson County. I'm also sitting with metro and regional boards that discuss all of that. So yes, they're
They've been
happening.
going on for about a year.
They're happening with frequency. They're more and more and more as we get closer. The Missouri side, as of right now, is handling the Missouri side, and the Kansas side is handling the Kansas side. This is a really unique situation, I think, for FIFA. I mean, I haven't ever really been involved in a World Cup before, but typically, I think, as you've seen in the past, it's one city that's even in our country for this coming World Cup, mainly just individual cities. The Kansas City area is so unique. You're talking about multiple cities and 2 states. So the coordination is through the roof, and obviously we're preparing for that. So ad nauseum. I mean, it's just constant. I would probably venture that it's mentioned every day, more than once, a lot of times. And I can tell you for sure at the Johnson County Chiefs level, it is.
Anyone else? All right, thank you, Chief. Public Works? Nathan,
I'm happy to answer any questions that I can for Bill. Otherwise, Bill
any questions?
answer from.
Public Works? Okay, thank you. And Parks and Rec, Bryce?
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. I just wanted to let everybody know that we are in the presence of some very distinguished guests, AKA Buddy the Elf, that did do the campaign. I don't know if anybody saw that on social media, but it was wonderful. Not so much seeing JP in tights, but the message that was given was great. So thank you very much, JP, for doing that. That was wonderful, both professionally and personally for me. Santa's workshop went well.
It was very challenging for
Yeah,
me to
sure it
do that,
was.
just say no. But I think I did my best.
I'll remember that for a long time. Santa's workshop went off very well. Had a great time there. Winter brochure is out, so you guys should have seen that in the email, and then that should be coming to your houses if it already hasn't shown up to them. And then the pool pavilion project, the project that will never end, is finally coming to an end, hopefully. The only thing we have left to do is to stain the underside and then add a camera for the security cameras. But it looks really, really, really nice. I'm very excited about that, and I'm excited to see what the pool patrons say next year when they see it for the first time. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Bryce? Thank you. All right, next monthly reports, the special committees, tree board, Nathan?
Thank you, Mayor. The only thing I would point out, if you were reviewing the packet and savvy enough to see the different places of numbers that were pulled for this, the city spent about $20,000 at the end of 2025 trying to get as many of the tree requests planted as we could before the end of the year. There was about 11,000 taken out of the Public Works general fund budget, and then another 9,000 taken out of the public tree fund. So I know the list continues to grow, but this took a big swath of the requests off the list. So we have budgeted, I believe, actually budgeted about the same amount for the end of 2026 as well.
Any questions for Nathan? Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda is public comment for consent agenda items only. I will read those into the record. A, approve minutes of the previous regular and special city council meetings. B, approve claims and appropriations. Ordinance number 1841, December 2025. C, approve agreement with Applied Tech Services for pool house access control upgrades. D, approve agreement with Maya Enterprises for pool painting. E, approve agreement with Midwest Golf Innovations for purchase and installation of golf simulators. F, approve agreement with McConnell and Associates for Peterson Park Tennis Court reconfiguration and resurfacing. G, approve agreement with Johnson County for 2026 CARS funding. And H, approve 2026 Super Pass agreement and swim meet interlocal agreement. All right, I will open the consent agenda for public comment. Is there anyone in the audience or online who would like to comment on any of these items? Nope. All right, these items are determined to be routine enough to be acted on in a single motion. However, this does not preclude discussion. If a council member requests, an item may be removed from the consent agenda for further consideration and separate motion. Council, is there anyone who would like to remove an item for further consideration? Joe?
I don't want to remove any. I want to make a comment on the various items that are coming from Parks and Recreation that there's some big dollars involved, but every one of those is backed up by our budget for 2026. And also the fact that one of them is a revenue producer. So.
That it is. And these are all things that have been discussed in the Parks and Rec Committee and recommended to forward to the council for approval. Anyone else? Okay, is there a motion concerning the consent agenda?
I'll do it. I move that we approve the consent agenda items A through G. Or is it H?
H.
H.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve items A through H on the consent agenda. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Passes unanimously. Okay, new business. We have one item under new business, and that's the election of the city council president. This election is for a 2-year term. And Nathan, I'll turn it over to you for reading into the record the responsibilities of this position.
Sure. So the council president is really only listed a very few number of times in our municipal code. And they all center around presiding over the meeting in the absence of the mayor. So really, there are state statutes that we reference, but we've not necessarily adopted. So essentially, the role of the council president would to be, in the absence of the mayor, preside over the meeting. And it's not, I had a couple questions earlier last week. It doesn't contemplate any policy proposals or drafting any agendas. That really, the language is clear. It says preside over the meeting. So that is essentially the role of the council president in the absence of the mayor. And it goes as far to say if the mayor is running late and shows up, then the mayor would take over the role of presiding the meeting upon arrival.
I'd have to be kidnapped.
Yeah.
You all know how I feel about starting on time. Okay, are there any nominations for council president? Joe?
Yes, I'd be happy to nominate Tanya Keys, Ward 4.
All right, Tanya Keys. Any other nominations? Lee?
First of all, I don't think there's a bad answer here. We have a great council. But I do think Kellyanne Busick would be great for the job. I've had a chance to work with her for 2 years and see how responsive she is to residents' needs and questions, and is proactive about making sure that she gets in front of that. She's a great communicator through email and a newsletter and ward meetings. And Emily, you and Jim will find out she's a budget hawk in the best sense of the word. She's always looking, we all are, but she's particularly interested in saving money for our taxpayers, looking for ways to reduce cost and increase revenues, even when it's not popular sometimes. So She has a lot of experience running meetings with Children's Mercy Hospital, and I think she would be excellent in this role. She's a fiscal conservative, but a progressive outlook, and I nominate Kellyanne.
All right, are there any other nominations? Okay, Nathan, I'll call the roll.
Okay,
We will vote between Tanya Keys and Kellyanne Busick. Whitney,
I'll vote for Tanya Keys.
Jim,
I'll vote for Kellyanne.
Jerry,
Kellyanne.
Kelly,
Kellyanne.
Lee, Emily.
Tanya, please.
Bill,
Tanya,
Tanya.
Tanya.
All right, we have a tie, 4-4. In that case, the mayor votes.
Mhm.
I vote for Tanya. Congratulations, Tanya.
Thank you.
You will be the next council president for 2 years. All right, next on the agenda is the governing body comment. During this time, members of the governing body will be given the opportunity to speak about matters related to the city. No formal action will be taken during this time. Any comments on any item? Okay. Public comment for items not listed on the agenda. Anyone in the audience have comments? Nathan, anyone online? All right, I'll close this section of public comment and I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
so moved.
All right. We are adjourned.
That